Hi, I'm WBTW News 13 weeknight anchor Nicole Boone. Just a little about me. I grew up here in South Carolina and joined WBTW almost 30 years ago. Bob Juback and I have anchored together for 25 years, making us one of the longest running anchor teams in the country. What you'll see in this video is a mix of the stories I've done over the past year, including my rare interview with financier and philanthropist Darla Moore of Lake City, South Carolina, and wall-to-wall coverage of Hurricane Florence in September. Thanks for your consideration.
Live with breaking news, this is News 13 at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nicole Boone. Bob is off tonight. First at 11, we now know the name of the Florence police officer killed in a shooting this afternoon that wounded 6 other law enforcement officers. The Florence County Coroner's Office says Officer Terrence Caraway died in the shooting. He was 52 and from Darlington. City spokesperson John Wakila says Caraway served 30 years with the department. Our live team coverage begins with News 13's Chris Spiker at McLeod Regional Medical Center with how law enforcement is handling Officer Caraway's death. Chris? And again, they implement these curfews to keep you safe. We're still seeing people out on the roads. It's really not advisable at this point. We've already seen in North Myrtle Beach and other areas along the coast, they're not going to be able to get to you if something happens. That's the same thing in Florence County, inland, and other areas. Once it gets too bad, they can't get to you. There's debris on the road with all of the standing water that's coming our way. This is when you can get into real trouble. We saw this during Matthew, people getting in their cars, trying to go places, getting stalled out, losing their vehicles, and you could lose your life. It's serious, folks, stuff, so don't mess with it.
We saw last year in western North Carolina with the news crew from the Greenville station.
Yes.
A tree limb they're just riding down the road. Tree limb fell on them and killed both people inside the vehicle. Right.
So we want to keep you safe. That's what emergency preparedness folks are trying to help you do as well. We are learning more about Africans who entered America on one of the last 2 slave ships. Even though they are long gone, the slaves have had an impact on the world of art. Dee Griffin shares their story that has been hidden in history. You might say a new boxing-inspired fitness class in our area looks to become a knockout for those with Parkinson's disease. I recently stopped by American Fitness in Murrells Inlet to see how it helps these patients battle their way to better health in a positively Carolina way. 1, 2. 1, 2. And welcome back to News 13 at 6, live from Darlington Raceway. What a treat. We have number 96 Jeffrey Earnhardt here with us now to talk about being on the circuit. And of course, you follow racing legends in your family. Your granddad, Dale Earnhardt Sr., your uncle is Junior. I mean, these are 2 of the most famous drivers in NASCAR history. They're legends. It's in your blood, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad name to, I guess, have for a last name when you come in the racing world. It seems like everyone, even if you're not a race fan, you pretty much know the Earnhardt name.
You kind of said you got started late in life at 14, so talk about your journey.
Yeah, it's been...
She could live anywhere, but her family's original home site in Lake City, South Carolina is where multi-millionaire Darla Moore calls home.
Coming from a small southern town, I had fantasies and dreams as a young girl that I was going to seek my fame and fortune somewhere else.
And she did, in New York City in banking, specializing in restructuring and bankruptcy takeovers. But it wasn't her first choice. She wanted to be a part of the leverage buyout business dominated by men.
I was female, I was southern, I didn't have the pedigree, and there was not a chance. And there were no women deal guys. Women were not in that business. And then by default fell into an area which was at the time very much considered the backwater of finance, because we didn't talk about companies that were in trouble.
She saved countless troubled companies like Macy's, making her one of the most successful women in the banking industry and the highest paid woman in banking. Among the numerous awards and recognitions, she became the first woman featured on the cover of Fortune magazine, the first woman to become a member of Augusta National, and the first in the U.S. to have a business school named after a woman.
This is not about Darla Moore.
Philanthropy is now her focus. She contributes millions to South Carolina colleges and other education programs, creating opportunities for thousands of students through the Darla Moore School of Business and the Darla Moore Foundation. And in her hometown of Lake City, she orchestrated the reinvention of this once vibrant farm community with the art competition, Art Fields.